we're not gonna belabor the point too much here. All we're going to do is start off with the backdrop that you guys have found yourself in. You guys have been spending the last year and a half, from 2015 to 2016, shortly after the Olympics happened in Rio, infiltrating and attempting to figure out the organization known as Deva Corp. It is an international organization. However, they are headquartered in New Delhi, India. That being said, one thing has become certain. They are using a very specific form of infrastructure. You're not entirely sure of the ins and outs of it at this point, but to your base level understanding, Deva is able to keep its employees on an exceedingly tight leash. As soon as they are let go or anything of that nature, the company pretty much disavows any knowledge of them. They lose all social contacts they might have had. It's almost as if they don't exist anymore. Because of this, it has caused a certain tight-knit community around itself, making it exceedingly hard to penetrate. The aftermath of your recent operation has caused them to fire nearly 70% of the employees in their headquarters. Through subtle manipulations and string pulling, you were able to encourage certain individuals to apply and attempt to get hired. That was successful. And of course, once they got hired, the bargain was struck, and you were able to assume your cover's identities, allowing you a unique perspective. Having fired 70% of their workforce, Deva Corp has instituted a new not hiring method, but a new orientation method. It's not possible for them to split everybody up as they would normally. So they have instituted what they are so affectionately calling Project Welcome. As your covers and a couple hundred other employees begin to file in on Monday, first day of the week, roughly about 7:30 a.m. They had you come in a little bit earlier than usual. You are greeted by a rather plain-looking woman, and she kind of outstretches her arms. She goes, "All right, everybody, we have a big group here. My name is Miss Patel. I would prefer if you call me that. I am the hiring manager and head of HR here at Deva Corp. We want to, first of all, welcome you all to the family. I don't have a mic or anything, so please keep your voices down. I realize there's a lot of you, and I'm probably not going to have a voice for the next couple of days. So," and she kind of gestures as around the lobby. "This is the ground floor. This is the lobby, reception area, and information. I know all of you are here from different departments. Show of hands. Who's part of HR? Ah, you over there. What's your name?"
I am Dash Khatri.
Nice to meet you. We'll get to know each other a lot better. Do we also have anybody here from the management team?
I suppose that's me. I think, out of character. Thanks.
She gestures over towards you. Your name?
Elliot.
She kind of blinks. Obviously not from around here, but that's okay. We're international, so we tend to hire people from anywhere, and we'll move them out here if necessary. It might take me a little bit to get the pronunciation of your name down. I apologize. We will be meeting your manager pretty shortly, the operations manager here at Deva Corp, Mina. Everybody else, you may have different positions. I don't have the time to go through them all. So, at this point, I would like everybody to make a single file line, looping around as much as needed. You will all be picking up your ID cards. These ID cards are your lifeline in this building. They allow you access to the floors that you need access to. Unfortunately, because of a recent incident, this security measure had to be implemented. Please note that it is your job is subject to termination should you use your card for people that are not allowed on the floor that you're allowed on. We do have cameras in the elevators, so please be aware of that. This process takes roughly about 2 hours for everybody to get back into line and get back in, get into line, get their ID card, and the like. She goes, all right, so I don't want to take up too much more of anybody's time. Obviously, we will have training sessions on a more intimate level. This is just the orientation. So, everybody has access to the basement level 1, our parking garage. Obviously, information. Now, we do have a couple of other floors that are open to the public. The other floor that is open to the public is the 60th floor, which is our visitor center and viewing platforms. And also everybody here has access to the 40th floor, which is our kitchens, cafeteria, and break rooms. Please be advised that while we can serve everybody, our cafeteria staff and the like is more than capable of serving everybody in this building all at once. Our elevator system cannot. So that is why I mentioned the visiting center, is because there are restaurants as well there. So make sure to plan accordingly. Obviously, some people still bring their lunch. I just want everybody to be aware of that. That being said, that is it for orientation. She kind of looks at her watch. At this point, you can either begin to make your way up to whatever floor that you're destined to go to, or, since this would be roughly the break time, you guys can either check out the viewing platforms or grab yourself a snack in the cafeteria or just hang around and mingle for a bit. Just so everybody knows. Let's see, it's about 10 past. Just as long as you're where you need to be on the hour, let's just say. That's obviously longer than a normal break would be, but, you know. Today's kind of a little bit of a mess. She kind of chuckles. And at this point, the rather plain-looking woman turns around and begins to head towards the elevators, leaving you and roughly about 100 other individuals in the lobby. Some of them starting to disperse, following her towards the elevators. Others talking about, since we're already on the ground floor, let's, there's a few restaurants nearby. Why don't we just grab a bite? So at this point, is there anything anybody has in mind?
I lean to the nearest person next to me. All we were missing was a Union is the enemy video.
Somebody kind of chuckles hearing that. Where do you think you are, America?
Oh, I was.
Kant and Praxis.
And then
Praxis. Let me correct myself there. You would probably be within earshot. I would assume you guys would make sure you're not spaced too far apart.
Are we aware of each other's covers?
Yes.
Okay.
That would most definitely be something you are aware of, so you guys can keep in contact with each other as needed.
Well, at the risk of drawing too much attention to any one particular individual, this other gentleman, who sounds like is in the same department as myself, I should make my acquaintance to keep up appearances.
So you're part of the management team as well, then. What part of it? Since...
Oh, I'm talking to an NPC. Wasn't it? Okay. Yes. Down in... I suppose down in is probably an adequate term, as we're only one floor up. Customer support, human resources, whatever you want to call it. Whatever the polite term here is. Keep the company running, so to say.
He turns to this very large plaque and he goes, looks like you're probably just going to be on the first floor, probably? I mean, and he kind of points out the plaque where it has a list of basically what all the floors are. Very quickly glancing at it, Kant, you would notice there are large gaps in the numbering. Specifically, floor 33 through 39 are not listed, 41 through 45 are not listed, 48 and through 50 are not listed, and there's other sporadic floors that aren't listed. But the first floor states General Affairs, Public Relations, and HR Department.
Take note of the missing floors, but that's not surprising.
He's like, yeah, he kind of gets this wry smirk on his face. I'm executive level management, so I'm gonna get to go to the lovely upper floors.
Bit of an elevator ride in the morning, is it not? Though?
Yeah, I probably will have to, show up 10 minutes earlier.
How many elevators are there, out of just curiosity, for this, massive building?
Okay, so, for your previous recon, you would be aware that there are 4 exterior glass elevators. Those are more for public. so they can, see the glorious city as they rise up to the 60th floor to the viewing platforms and visitor center. Throughout this building, there are probably... You don't have an exact count, but you have roughly, from what you're aware of, 10 to 20 different elevators. So there are plenty of elevators, but when you consider 80 floors and an international headquarters, that's still cutting it a little thin sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you have everybody trying to go to a specific floor or something.
Well, maybe they've got you've got your own elevator, perhaps. Executives would not surprise me. Get your own executive elevator. Maybe you could push for that in the contract.
The contracts were a little weird, weren't they?
Business contracts are always weird, aren't they?
Still.
Especially for a company doing this many hires on at one point, I mean. Would not surprise me.
Praxis. Oh, as this conversation continues on between Kant and this individual, is there anything you are doing specifically?
I just want to get a read on the room. What's the general feeling of?
All right, go ahead and give me wits plus empathy.
Oh, a terrible roll. There we go. Start off. Start seeming to go on. I'll take it. 1 success.
Oh, wow. All right. So, with that 1 success, the feel of the room right now is of nervous excitement. There are obviously some just standard nerves of people getting new jobs. A matter of fact, you're not affected by it, being one step removed from your cover as you are, but there is a certain level of nerves going through your cover as well. It seems like this is just kind of the standard feel at this point in time.
So, with that in mind, I'm going to look up to go up to that registry of floors and just kind of look for myself where I should be.
All right. So, with that being said, you obviously see the same thing that Kant saw. Obviously, the first floor is labeled General Affairs, Public Relations, and HR. So you assume that's probably the main floor you're going to be working on as a part of the HR team. Very quickly, as you look down at the key card that you were given, you notice that it does have the floors marked. You see it has B1 marked, ground floor, first floor, the 20th floor, which the 20th floor is accounting and marketing, the 40th floor, which is the break rooms, cafeteria, and then the 60th floor. But that seems to be the limit of your key card that you hold. Kant, since you're also at the information board, it would be very much the same floors, with one exception. You also would have access to the 51st floor, which is the conference rooms.
Noted.
Izzath, is there anything outside of random chit-chat that you want to do?
I wanted to check also where my legal department is. before heading to the cafeteria. And Izzy thinks to herself, oh, why is this body always hungry?
Once again, your floors are pretty similar to the other two. With the exception, you obviously don't have access to the 51st floor, but you do have access to the 59th floor, which is dubbed Legal Department.
Okay, I guess I'll go up. Let me see if there's anything I can grab to eat. This place should be able to afford free snacks. Like an idiot, I forgot to bring anything. Okay, I'm just gonna go up. And then after that, I'll just go to my new office. Okay, nerves, calm down. And I say that out loud like my little mantra. Calm down. And I head to the nearest elevator.
All right, these elevators very clearly have been replaced within the last week. You can tell they've got that new shine to them. Not even a single scuff mark on them. As you go in, you are of course greeted by a lovely camera in the corner and a very high-tech floor selector, which right now all the buttons are grayed out with the exception of the 60th floor. However, 5 green flashing lights are sitting right above where very clearly you're supposed to swipe your key card. Praxis and Kant, you have seen Izzy's cover break off from the rest and begin to make their way to the elevators.
Well, I mean, if this guy is still seemingly like he is, open to casual conversation, I think chatting with some guy in executive would probably be a good idea.
All right. Now, is this just to build a relationship here, or is this
I'm not trying to get at anything out of him. I just, make acquaintance, get for future.
Give me manipulation plus socialize. I think this is one of the first times we've ever rolled socialize in our games.
Perhaps.
2 successes. All right. He is... So, with that, give me one quick moment here, because this is random NPC number 5, who is now all of a sudden going to get a name very quickly here.
I know the feeling.
One more. His name is Jeet. He just gives you his first name. Jeet.
Well, I offer my name in return, and, my cover's name. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, but it's that time of the hour. I believe I'll find something to eat before we get shuffled on to our next destination.
Praxis?
I will, I'll follow suit, but more keeping to myself. Have a look at people if there's anyone that sort of seems to be particularly noteworthy.
Go ahead and give me a perception roll then.
Bit out, yeah.
3 successes.
Oh, 3 check.
Okay. Most definitely what you would realize looking at this group is, at least the impression you get is, most of these people, for lack of a better term, are mostly cogs in the machine, as it were. There might, obviously, the person Kant was talking with seems a little bit more high up, but still just very much, he might get a say in a thing here or there, but nothing that is going to be a very expansive change. He might be able to change what color pencils get ordered that week, so to speak. However, this does just seem to be... The term riffraff is unkind, but it is certainly the most valid. If you were to place money on a certain bet, you would probably say the more important people are probably getting the more traditional private orientations, as most companies would normally do if they weren't trying to replace 70% of their workforce.
And with that, I'll step into the elevator.
You guys were probably the first. I'm gonna say you guys were the first to get to this elevator. Oh, different elevator?
I'm on the first floor. I'm on the first floor. I'll take the stairs.
All right, buddy. 40 flights of stairs. Let's go.
You said I was on the first. HR and PR.
Oh, I thought you were also heading up to.
I'm going up to the offices. It's one flight. It's...
Fair enough. Okay. So, most people are not going to be taking the elevator or the stairs, so you are definitely going to be by yourself. What I was getting ready to say, I guess, was Kant and Izzath, you would be the first ones in the elevator, having the doors close, assuming that you guys are taking the first elevator, or taking the same elevator. Let me rephrase.
Depends how long that conversation went for, really.
Izzath was also in a conversation as well, mostly about how India is different than the United States. So I would say you weren't too far behind her. So if you want to take the same elevator, you can, and you would be the first two to start heading towards the elevator. So I would let you have this elevator ride alone, should you want it.
I mean, I'm not waiting for anyone,
All right. So as the elevator begins to head up to the 40th floor, despite the watchful eye of the camera up above, you find yourselves somewhat alone for the first time since this 2-hour orientation started.
Do I know what position her cover is, taking?
All of this stuff would have been shared beforehand, yes. Okay. You'd be aware of where everybody's cover essentially works, what access they more or less should have, at least based on previous reconnaissance.
And I'll continue to keep appearances for the camera. That's what this game is, I believe. Turn and... Legal, is it not? I believe I overheard a conversation.
Yes. Mostly paper pushing, but legal nonetheless.
The pushing of paper is what keeps the gears turning here. I suspect we'll be... Well, perhaps not the two of us, but I suspect our departments will be working somewhat closely together. Legality and public relations tend to go hand in hand.
Yeah. We'll see how this company does. They said 70% was let go.
Restructuring, it's... I suppose the number is a bit large, but it's not unheard of for corporations to lay off employees. Have to take a look at their stocks, perhaps, if they even have any. See what happened. Ah, that's neither here nor there. Why did they put the cafeteria on the 60th floor?
Possibly to help the overweight pandemic.
40th floor, just...
Yeah, I just realized I said the wrong number. I'm gonna get these floors mixed up so bad.
And they're actually a pretty important part of this game.
Yep, they are. That's the problem. Still, why'd they put it on the 40th floor? You know as well as I do that nobody's taking the stairs to the 40th floor.
Oh, there's always that one person. There is always that one crazy person that would rather take the
person
stairs.
that's going to do 40 flights to get his lunch is not going to be eating cafeteria food here.
On that note, we're going to move over to Praxis. Sorry. That joke had to be made. Who is now taking the stairs up at least one flight to the first floor.
And is already heaving.
So, as you ascend into the first floor and open the door, you do get the few people that are anywhere sort of near the door do kind of give you a weird look. And you even get, you took the stairs?
It's a short distance. One floor, doesn't matter.
They kind of shrug. This area is... Oh. They're cubicles. Rows upon rows of cubicles. You hear phone calls coming in. You hear... Thank you for calling Deva Corp HQ. How may I direct your call? Or, hello, this is Deva HQ. How may I assist you today? You know, the inane phone call type banter. This area is very much laid out where you have elevator entrances on the left and right sides of where you entered. The stairs are obviously directly behind you. This particular area seems to just be a short through way for people to, you know, go left or go right as they circle around the large center area, which is nothing but cubicle spaces. You can kind of see above the cubicles just enough to see that the back wall across the way is the more private offices, probably for managers. You would assume that probably HR has their own specific office area on this floor.
Yeah, I will circle around until I find somebody who doesn't look busy.
That is going to take a while. As you have to...
So you can direct me where I'm supposed to go.
Okay, there are a few people that aren't going to be on the phone, just basically filling out, I have to make the joke, TTS reports and that type of thing. One of them kind of looks up, feeling your presence at the entrance of their cubicle. Can I help you? What little light I get, you're blocking.
Something of an unfamiliar place to me at this point. I was wondering if you could send me in the right direction. I'll show my ID card as well.
HR. Okay, yeah. He kind of stands up and he starts gesturing over at a specific office to the far. So just for simplicity's sake, let's just say you entered in from the south. It would be the northeast corner office area. You're just going to go through that door there, and that's where HR's portion of the building is. Yeah. Is there anything else I can help you with? I don't really know a lot of what they do there, obviously, other than hiring and, that type of stuff, but...
And that is what I'm employed in. Thanks for your help. And I'll head that way.
As you get into the HR room, as it were, Miss Patel looks up and goes, I see you found your way here. All right. So I guess this is the time where we can have a little bit more of a one-on-one with the inner workings on. You will be reporting directly to me. She gives a soft smile.
Of course.
Now, one thing you would notice is despite how much effort she puts into her appearance, you can tell she puts a lot of effort into it, but you can't really say anything other than she just comes across as plain, even with all that excess work that she's done. She kind of sighs. So, do you have any questions I can answer?
Well, I have some experience, I think it's fair to say, but I think the general one would be where to begin.
Well, first, honestly, today's going to be a rather boring day for you. You're going to shadow me, and I will get you kind of all the stuff that I expect from you and what we expect. And unfortunately, a lot of that is also going to be sitting through very boring videos that you're going to have to answer questions about. Workplace behavior.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
On that very exciting note, I feel like we're going to go ahead and move back over to Kant and Izzath. The elevator dings as you arrive at the 40th floor.
I exit the elevator.
Step out.
This area is what honestly you would expect. It is a very large open space cafeteria. It almost reminds you of what you've seen in high school TV shows and the like. That very large open area. With the exception of around the, once again, let's just say you arrived on the south, or the east end of the building. To the north segment, you would notice more private booth type areas. Two and two together would be that these are the break rooms that they mentioned. They're more isolated. They have a door that can be pulled closed so you can have a bit of privacy, a bit of quiet. It even states that on the glass, there are little signs posted. These rooms are soundproof. If somebody is in here and you need their attention, don't even try shouting. Essentially, it seems like they've had issues with that in the past, so they're just putting a notice. Don't try shouting.
Are there any vending machines?
There are a couple of vending machines, but they are definitely more just the snack cake variety. It does seem like the cafeteria staff has more what you would classify cold deli food at this moment. It doesn't seem like they've started on lunch quite yet.
It's like, what, 10 a.m.?
It would be roughly... You guys came in at a roughly 7:30. So 2 hours, this would be 9:30ish. So yeah, we're getting close to 10.
All right, I head over, check out the deli selection, grab a sandwich, something to drink, some chips, and yep, I make my way to pay.
They look at you a little confused. Food is free here.
Oh.
The company pays. This is part of the benefits package, as it were.
Okay, they must have not mentioned that during the orientation.
That being said, though, should you ever find yourself on the 60th floor, they are not free up there. The restaurants that are up there and the fast food places.
Ah, okay. Well, good to know. Thank you. And I head on over to a table and just look around. Is there anyone else?
Honestly, at this time, there really aren't a lot of people in this room. Partially could be the fact that supposedly 70% of the workforce doesn't work here anymore, so that would kind of make this more of a ghost town. And the people that are replacing the 70% are maybe still making their way up since you were the first ones in the elevator, and others might be just heading straight to their floors.
My character's thinking, wait, so they let go 70% and we are the replacement of the 70%?
Yes.
Okay. Were they just cleaning house?
As I had previously stated, this was part of a previous operation that your specific ring performed that caused the 70% to become fired.
Wait, hold up. Out of character. So I caused people's jobs?
Yes.
I stole someone's job?
Well, we cost them their jobs. You know, this was a group effort to put a lot of people out of work, to get us into work. It's totally all right. Trust me. You know.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I feel like a jerk. All right, back in game. Ugh. Okay. Man, this is gonna be rough then. It's gonna be a lot of work, backlog, figuring out where the company left off, figuring out legal stuff. Probably left a lot of stuff open. I don't think this was a very smart move. And I proceed to eat my sandwich.
Kant, what are you doing at this time?
Although there are not a lot of people in the room, I am just going to, take my chances, and I'm going to use an embed.
Ooh, okay. What's this embed?
Essentially, I am going to use special someone to see if there's anybody else in, like, management in this room, in whatever department.
Okay. So what is that role?
It is a wit's empathy. It's an instant action.
And does it cause a compromise roll?
Embeds, unless otherwise specified, do not, to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Is it
So,
otherwise?
no.
Okay. That's why I was asking.
It doesn't specify. It doesn't say that, right? I had to double check myself because I'm pretty sure it did, but yeah. No, it does not. So, the chances are low given the amount of people, but, you know, might as well take your chances when you can.
Alright, so with 2 successes... No, there does not seem to be... And it's only for the specific type of person you're looking for. Correct me if I'm wrong?
Yes,
Unfortunately,
basically-
no. There's nobody from management here.
a firm. Unfortunate, but barring spamming the embeds to, you know, try to discern, you know, if there's anybody else of any value, I'm not going to do that. I will attain a sandwich, some drink, and go about my day.
Alright. Having finished your sandwich, do the 2 of you proceed to the floors that you believe you're required on? Obviously, Izzy's floor is much higher up than where Kant would be hitting. Kant would actually be heading back down.
As long as there is still a reasonable amount of time before we are expected elsewhere again,
Oh.
I suppose I shall.
Alright. So, with that being said, and everybody splitting up, well, actually not everybody's splitting up. Technically, Kant is heading down to the floor where Praxis is. We're going to take a moment here to focus on Izzy as the elevator dings and she reaches the legal team floor. This floor, the 59th floor as it were, is nicely carpeted. It does very much feel like a legal office. At least what your cover assumes a legal office looks like. Doesn't seem to trigger any alarm bells and the like. That being said, the first person that looks up from their desk kind of gestures over to you. You're the new legal aide, right?
Yes, Gloria Dent.
She begins to look through her papers here and goes, I don't have a Gloria here. I have a Jude Price. And at this point, I'm going to make a roll here. Give me one moment here. We're going to do wits plus, let's see here. What the? Seriously? I roll 5 dice and get 5 successes. What the hell? That moment where you have to
it's gonna be
pause.
one of those games.
Where you just have that moment of where you're staring at the dice going, really? So I would assume, as she kind of purses her lips, well, You'll have to figure that out with HR if they got your name down wrong. But let me go get Mr. Rivera, and I'll have him fill you in.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Demon the Descent, Frayed Wires, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does one do if the slaver is the key to one's survival?